Top up time. Glenn's on his way out to Hawkesbury. Not just
Yeah.
yet, but we're here to see what's happened overnight and see any morning betting trends and analyse what that may mean.
Fingers crossed they'll let me use my Brian Fletcher Hawkesbury race pass, which goes for eternity, which I haven't used in 3 years. Because punters, I'm not paying $25 to walk through the fucking gate, so there might be no mounting yard mail. There'll be the big reverse.
Come on, you've got the all-time Scone parking story. You can get in anywhere.
Yeah.
So yes, Hawkesbury, the first standalone for 2 years. The penetrometer surprisingly high. They claim not to have put any water on this track for 3 days, but the penetrometer suggests otherwise. So keep your eye.
It did have a 7-metre base of water a month ago.
It did indeed. Although it has been very dry just lately. No rain in the last 3 weeks, and unlikely today. All right, the 2-year-old race is race 1, and the Betfair screen does indicate that it's more like $4 the field, as we suggested on the rant yesterday.
Yeah.
Hoover Lucy has had the most traded there. She's sitting around the $4 mark there. Glen Eagle's still favourite. Aslav, obviously a prime contender. All 3 of those horses stepping up sharply in distance. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're 2-year-olds going to 1,400 metres, which I imagine will have some bearing on the parade.
Yeah. Exactly what was in the preview yesterday with their pricing. I see 3 and 5 they're backable prices to me, 3 and 5, and I still like number 2. But interesting race. Kind of, I want to get number 1 beat to not be Glen Eagled. The head.
All right, race 2 is coming shortly. Here we are. So Chris scratched his bloody horse that looked the lay of the race, Arcana. Thanks very much, Chris. Louvois is particularly firm, fixed odds. It's into 420 fixed odds. Obviously, Ruby Tuesday remains our favourite. Kerwin's Lane resuming with the Apprentice Rider booked seemed like it might be a soft one in the betting, especially given its racing style.
Certainly an interesting one. Can't wait to see it parade, because that 680 might be 68 to 1. And I still think the race is held by the aces there.
Yeah, the on speeders here 9, 10, 6 underneath them.
Yep.
And look at our roughie of the race. Not quite the roughie of the race, because your boyfriend Spencer is the outsider. But Global Quest, the Breeders' Plate winner. Here it is out at Hawkesbury. Despised 25 to 1 chance. Good on you, Aquis. What else did I want to say about this race? Nothing really. It'll give us a bit of a better cider on the track after 2 races. The third race is the Highway, and it's been a race that I've had a bit of correspondence about, simply because we mentioned on the show yesterday that you seem to need 3 country New South Wales runs to qualify for a Highway. So there are 2 horses here that have set up exactly with their 3 New South Wales runs. They both had won 2 races, so they couldn't afford to win one of those 3 races to get into this race.
Wow.
It is
like programming deadened.
Yeah, well, sorry, Sarouge could have won one of her races because she's only won 1 race, but Golden Gorge certainly could not afford to break through there in the 3 runs. And our country correspondent writes, to qualify for a Highway, the horse must have 3 runs in country New South Wales before being eligible. So you have to be very careful with horses having their 4th run in a Highway. First 3, no doubt, barrier trials, well, as in the intent is not there. For Golden Gorge, well short of its best distance. Had a run at Wellington to get a gauge on it. As you say, can't win from back and wide at Wellington, then went like a rocket at Musselbrook, but 1,000 metres against Ceasefire, last week's favourite. Not suitable there. And then went down to the Wagga Plate Prelude again to knock off its 3rd run. So he sort of had to be quite creative, looking for the right 3 races to prep for here. But our correspondent writes, Issue with this horse is just the above, though, because it's based in Dubbo, short drive to Wellington, first run for New Stable, but 12 days later, 5-hour round trip to Muswellbrook, then 9 days later, 10-hour round trip to Wagga. Now expected to go 5 hours down to Hawkesbury 13 days later. Will be an amazing training feat, trainer performance. Market won't be on top of this travel and how taxing this is. So, I mean, God, we can bury ourselves with angles, can't we, Glenn? I sort of...
Well, there's the three of us are small riders, and there's a million people with narratives, and a lot of them are fantastic. Like, what a fantastic narrative that just was. But I don't know. Are we making the Rubik's Cube have too many colours?
All right, so the betting on this race, obviously firm number one, although it's well and truly $4 there on the fair, not much action yet. Charlton Park is firm at around the $550 mark, and Sarouge, yourself and Nigel's horse from yesterday, is into $9 fixed. Still a bit of $10 there minus the com there for Sarouge. So, yeah, look, there are two horses that have both had exactly 3 runs in your country, New South Wales, and here they turn up fourth up for this race, which does stink very much. And they, and they find, well, 2 of the best 5 riders on the program, Rawilla and Tim Clark. So there's a lot of intent there. All right, that's enough about the highway. Let's move on to this boring 1800 metre race where Yangtze Rapids is our favourite. I'm sure you'll be looking to see what you can find from the yard here, because it is a favourite that all the pieces fell into place last start at Canterbury.
Yeah, I'm hating it, Mark. I'll be losing bad on this race if it wins. I'll probably lose on the day. I'm hard against it.
I hope that doesn't mean you'd pack up and go home.
It's about even money, Mark.
Hawkesbury is a much maligned place and certainly no favourite track of many. Well, what can we say about this race other than I wanted to say that Sagacious, third up here, had a little look about it after being in the inferior ground on that water track at Randwick last start, and up sharply in distance here to obviously its 2 city wins last preparation were over 1600 and 1900, and it's back from a black type race with Rawilla booked. All right, race 5 is the first of the feature races. Sweet Deal is the firm one into 390 fixed. A Theory is a focus, well, is a resumer of focus today, and there it is, 3,000 matched at the low $3 mark. It'll be an interesting parade. It's also drawn in gate 1, so we've got a very good handle on the track by this stage to see whether that's going to be an advantage or a disadvantage. But look, there are 3 horses just sticking out in the betting there, aren't they? Sweet Deal, A Theory, and Wonderbar.
Particularly firm their Sweet Deal overnight, and I suppose with that firmness, it means it just takes up the running.
Yeah, but as I said, it settled off the speed with a vengeance in the Hunter, where Special Reward led the race, and I would say that he'd be happy if Erythea's still got the legs to take it up. Be more than happy for Erythea to do that.
I'll be surprised if number 2 doesn't lead him.
And Air to Air is the lurker in the betting there, has been highlighted on the rant twice as far as returning some very good late sectionals, and you'd have to say this is probably a target race, Glenn. This is third up.
I'd say definitely, Mark. Definitely. As much as Jason targets, he also just puts him in, lets him go round and round and round, and it's the most likable person in Sydney racing. Jason, Jason, we had no luck there, and he goes, just shrugs his shoulders. They'll run it again in a couple of weeks.
Look,
not a bad attitude.
The line of least resistance, that's what it is. So if you are actually looking not to get overly stressed about life and whatever occupation you found,
lift your 2 shoulders and waddle along.
There you go. Very philosophical, Jay Coyle.
He's very philosophical. The most important thing about Jay Coyle is he doesn't look much, and he had 100 yards and we were in the same tip footy team, which was so annoying.
Yeah, he's flies under the radar.
Does fly under the radar. Good man, a great man.
Okay, so this sprint here, which does look to have a lot of toey types here. Speaking of horses that would like to lead, Adelong is one of them. Charge is a wild car, fast wild card. All Cylinders wants to take it up. Blazing Mist would like a piece of the lead. Embracer certainly wants the lead, and Switched would be happy to say put her hand up as well, although she looks to trail from gate 1. So it looks a race of speed, which is why Nigel was focused on in and up here.
Warming to in and up, warming to Nigel's thoughts here. I think he's right. This has got a good chance to get over the top of them here.
Well, especially it looks a running line race, doesn't it? You know, this is the first of the short courses today, so this is the different shoot. So they come down the hill from that straight run, and it's sort of quite a gentle bend at the turning from the 600 to the 400. And so it does look a race where three wide running line peeling out would be your go-to. So I mean, I guess Blazing Mist will be, you know, she's done that from a position at Randwick a few times, so she's the firmer. Vada remains our favourite. Embracer looks quite firm there, returning as a gelding, obviously trialled up and trained up, as you would expect a Gaybite horse to be.
Yep.
But a parade race for sure, because most of them have had some time off. The 7th is the Hawkesbury Guineas, and looks like Ellsberg's race to lose. 5,000 match there, low twos, no movement there. Rainbow Connection was a horse that we featured on the review show a couple of weeks ago, and his chances depend a bit on pattern. And yeah, it's bits and bobs. There has been a mover on Cheo at longer odds, but not reflected there on Betfair at all. A horse that is very lightly raced. He's only had the 4 starts. He resumed at Canterbury and didn't find the fence. Boxed on particularly well. Second up here with blinkers on. He's got a little bit of intent about him, and obviously the key to how the favourite goes, because how much pressure on Chao applies to the favourite will determine the race. Although, as you say, Glenn, you get these matchups and they tend to go, well, okay, you're going to lead and I'm going to sit outside lead, so we're just going to do our best to make it not too intense.
Yeah, especially with both those go forward type riders who are brother-in-laws. But you know, and best of luck to them.
The Bash, what
are
the
they
Bash
called?
brothers is John Walter calls them. So they the second Bash brother has finally left his care, so that it's all England. It's got a Hawkesbury feel about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, terrific riders. Ellsberg get the job. Clark would be too good here, mate.
Did return with a vengeance. Gerald Ryan's still fresh. Okay, race 8 is the Hawkesbury Cup, and Royal Celebration appears to get his chance for the shampoo setup. Purple Sector has had a little bit of interest there on the fair, which
maps pretty well. Purple Sector in this race.
Well, look, on his form last preparation, he's the favourite, but he's been a bit disappointing in his 2 runs back, particularly his last run, where he found the fence on the hot rails day at Rose Hill. A little bit of time off, perhaps. The fixed odds firmer into 850 is Looks Like Elvis, which is a horse that you've got your eye on here. Freshened up back from a 2,000 metre race. Bit of different form here because Archidemus is tied to Royal Celebration. So,
yes, yeah, well spotted by me there. Lucky you blokes let me put it in the quaddie. It's got a great chance here, number 8, but 7's clearly favourite. I think 5 to 2 is the starting point for number 7, which is $3.50, and you work from there.
Yeah, so I wonder if Gord will come out of his holiday mode to launch into Royal Celebration. It's been his little boyfriend.
He'll have a holiday battle.
The Nightcap features the imported. I'm going to call it Grand Rumour. So drop all the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Grand Rumour. Nigel has a share in this horse and was at Canterbury to watch it win first up. She's sort of the rock there at around the 6 to 4 mark, or $2.50 fixed odds, and not much happening on the fair at the moment. I can't say that there's much intel as far as betting is concerned. Ocean Emperor remains our second pick, but Tess Plonker head the third line. But we're cheering this horse for our good ranter Nigel, who kindly gave of his time yesterday.
No, I'll be cheering for it unless it's a winner for me, Mark. I don't cheer anybody except myself.
That's a good way to be. It's all in here. So we hope that you have a good time at Hawkesbury. There are a few interstate runners at Eagle Farm that I'll be paying attention to. Unfortunately, Eagle Farm is not quite as dynamic as Doomben. It's a bit of a plugger's track these days. So, but there's lots of interstate Sydney horses have gone interstate and some to Adelaide. So I'll be keeping my eye on those today as well. Meanwhile, if you're a Dave Dwyer ranter, you can get on to win 5,000 at Hawkesbury or Newcastle from 1 hour before the first. Just email him to tell him you're a ranter and he'll let you on to win 5 at the price. Go and find a corporate that'll let you do that. Meanwhile, if you haven't tried Dave Dwyer, chuck 500 in an account, tell him you're a ranter and he'll pay you your first 4 weeks of subs. That's
and you get your first 2 weeks free if you're new, because we want to give you a taste for free.
Exactly. I think I said 132 last week. You correct me, 136. Of course, it is $116 4 times 29. So we're both in the naughty corner after that effort last week.
who picked you up on that, old mate? What's his name?
No, it wasn't Phil.
No, the other one. That, I can't remember his name. Starts with W. Wazza.
From Wazza, or Dave Potter is normally on our case as well.
The other bloke, I can't remember his name.
Anyway, we've got lots of keen ranters, and if you haven't been part of our if you haven't been part of our community before, you'd be well advised to. The chat room is full of clever heads that want to tip you every winner, and a RacingRant subscription gets you into the chat room. It also gets you 5 shows a week, assessments from me twice a week, mounting yard mail from every Sydney Metro meeting. And there's a lot of content for not very much, and you get to be part of a community that is well worth your subscription, or great value for money. So come and try us. The first 2 weeks are always free if you've not tried us before, and we'd love to see you here at the rant. I'll stop sharing that Betfair screen so that I can actually say goodbye to Glenn Pollitt. Get on
guys.
Your way to Hawkesbury.
I got to go to Hawkesbury.
M5, M8. See you later.
Bye, guys.